That feels like no.
Start.
All right, calling to order the Stormwater Bylaw Working Group meeting for July 30th, 2025. We're gonna do a call to order, we're gonna do a roll call. So shout out when I call your name, please. John Salo,
Here.
Josh Levy, Sue Barber,
Here,
Janine Helwig, Preston Hall, Tom Ryder,
here's Louise.
Deb Anderson,
Here.
Trip Pace, Joe Prondak, Kevin Keane. So we're off, we have a quorum. So the first thing we gotta do is accept the minutes from 7:15 and 7:22.
I did just send out the 7:22
Okay.
meeting minutes this afternoon, so if we haven't had time to review it,
Oh,
that's totally fine. I didn't get the recording until this morning, so therefore I did not have them to take minutes on.
you're the best.
So, at minimum, the 7:15, did we have any comments on the 7:15?
A couple of things, it should be 8:0 instead of 7:0 on that.
8:0 instead of 7:0.
There are 8 of us. And another little thing on the second page, I'm sure it's a tech term, but did you mean to say deck on? Was it a
Dang, I
baseball
love
term?
that streak.
Oh, it's beautiful, it's beautiful, yeah, it's beautiful, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I was really getting into a groove there. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Hold on.
Deck,
And then on the second page, did you mean to say deck? Is that a tech term?
oh yeah,
Or no,
deck,
it's
deck,
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 it should be deck, okay.
Hold,
Deck.
hold please.
is what your. One with
Deck cards.
PowerPoint presentations called decks,
Okay,
Oh.
okay, I didn't know that.
the deck,
Did you know that?
it's like
A
that.
slide deck?
I don't know.
Oh,
Slide
okay.
deck, yeah, really.
okay, perfect. Oh
Okay,
my God.
so first of all, whoops, let me open up the
Perfect.
document and share what we should be sharing and what we should be changing. And I will make those adjustments.
Right?
And then I just have one more question
Yeah.
on 7:22.
Okay, hold on for 7:22.
That is
Just one second.
beautiful.
Thanks, all. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so the first thing we're going to share is the meeting minutes from 7:15.
There you go.
Okay, alrighty, so here are the meeting minutes from 7:15. Whoopsie daisies.
So is Josh not coming tonight either?
I think he is on vacation.
So we did.
You get to do
deserves
that when you
that,
have
I
a small
know.
child, or he has two small children?
It's required.
That's why you go on
Yes.
vacation, you're required to.
So they can have something new to look at and do it all over all that.
That's
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so 7:0. There's 8 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, just because I can't count.
It's so beautiful, Kim.
Good catch.
Thank you.
And that's a lot coming from Sue.
Is it?
I take it to heart every time. I'm
Mhm.
thrilled. Okay, so here is that one. Just changing the amount of people attending, correct?
Yeah,
There was nothing else on there that you wanted to change,
I couldn't find it.
other than the version of the deck being. the deck.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
tech term, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
okay,
so let me just save that. It has been saved for all of posterity.
And this is the 7:22?
That's 7:15.
Oh, 7:15.
7:20.
Now, next is 7:22. Let me open that one up real quick.
I think you captured everything wonderful in
Except
7:22.
how cold we were. Does it say anything? How cold we were?
It does not.
John, were you cold at the meeting on the 22nd?
Were
Apparently,
you cold in the select board meeting?
Yes,
You were. And you had on a long sleeve shirt.
wow, I didn't remember.
You saw me and Kim cuddling,
I,
right?
I was there.
Worked so well
He
together.
was there. He was in our
I
corner.
Okay.
I made very good comments too.
You did,
I
you did.
did.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be good.
Okay, meeting minute. And 7:22, whoops, I did it again. 7:22, open
I
up the
think that's the Britney
document.
Spears song.
7:22?
No, oops, I did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not putting my hand back down.
No.
All right,
I'm not
and
that
share
bad.
screen,
7:22.
7:22, sharing. Okay,
Yeah, I think you captured everything really well. Right at the end, motion to what?
Adjourn.
Were we adjourning the select board meeting or were we?
we were adjourning our meeting
Mm-hmm.
within the select board meeting.
Right. He's kind of crazy.
Kind of like picture in picture on the TV.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn added,
Okay. All right.
and I
And,
still said 7. Oh, you did have 7, because Joe wasn't there, so it was 7.
Yeah.
okay. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
Who would like to motion for the meeting minutes 7:15 accepted?
It's so moved.
All right, good, thank you. Second?
Sue
Sure.
motions,
I'll second.
Deb seconds,
All right.
Mhm.
for meeting minutes of 7:22, who motions?
I so moved.
Sue motions,
I'll second.
and Deb seconds. Look at the
Okay.
teamwork.
All right, let's have a roll call vote. John Salo,
Yes,
Sue Barber,
Yes.
Tom Ryder,
yes.
Deb Anderson,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. All right, minutes are accepted.
Fantastic.
All right, right, next
Do you need
up,
me to pull up the agenda, or do you got?
I got the agenda here. So next up, we have the select board presentation debrief, review the draft presentation slides. And let's talk what you thought worked, what didn't work, what, and then we could do the feedback we got from the staff.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So that same deck of slides is what we're gonna use in the public meeting.
Yeah.
However, I do have an added slide in that one for just
Housekeeping.
housekeeping items at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Okay,
And then I don't know if we're gonna add any other documents such as plot plan examples, things like that, to show up on the screen. But I don't know that that's something we need to necessarily discuss, because it would just be provided by engineering. So
okay,
let me know. if we
Okay.
feel like we should, because if we have to, we don't have to meet briefly before the
all right.
public thing.
There was talk about, in the comments I saw, someone made about the plot plan, so we'll discuss that when it comes
Okay.
along.
All right, so let me call up the comments.
And, by the way, you guys were great at the meeting. That's not,
Oh.
you were great,
So were you?
shots. No, but seriously, like, there's good comments, and John, you made some great comments too, so thank you.
Yeah.
I printed this.
You're the one about like
Okay.
flooding is in the news right now, right?
I probably would.
Kevin, on that note, I wonder if there's any benefit in, I don't know whether it's adding a slide or just Tom or Kim sort of giving that little bit of a national regional perspective that Needham is
Right.
not alone in kind of really looking at these things, given what's happening across the country with more intense rainstorms. So we're not out on our
Right.
own. We're really with a lot of other people that are assessing this issue. So it could just get said by Tom or Kim at some point, because I think that
Do we
seems
have it?
to be
Yeah.
a thread that's coming up, in some of the questions that I've seen.
We have a lot of photos from like the August 8th storm. Now, not that we're selling this as a cure-all for what happened on August 8th. We're not saying this will prevent flooding, but it's a component of what, and a lot of people in the neighborhood meetings are saying, despite August 8th, they knows more flooding in the neighborhoods over the last 10 years. There's just been more, and I think that's either climate change, but I also think it's tree canopy is gone, or bigger houses, or whatever. But
It's a combination of all.
yeah, so I think what we're trying to do is saying this isn't the thing that fixes it. was a part of something. But if we could get a picture of,
We have photos of.
if we get a great, but just a splash screen as a,
Or
as
we
the
think we
audience
should
is
just have a
coming in,
collage, spring a
Yeah.
collage slide of flooding in town.
yeah. I mean, that's stormwater flooding,
Flooding caused by heavy storm.
yeah.
Or do we want to emphasize that or not?
No, as I think it's people coming in. And they're sitting down and, you know, before everything starts, just to have it sort of like, is quietly setting sort of
Yeah,
the bar, like here, this is why we're here.
Mhm.
Without having to explain it, they see it,
mm-hmm,
and they'll recognize the areas like, hey, this happens, you know. There's a need,
I do also want to note that there is a secondary meeting occurring at the same time as ours. There is that police and fire,
Yes.
something happening on the
On the
common,
common. Yes, that starts at 5
yes.
and ends to 8, ours
It
starts
ends
at
at
7.
It starts 7 to 8, so I don't know if that will hinder who shows up or actually improve who shows up,
I think it helps.
not really sure.
Like, I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know if the police event crescendos at 7 and. I think there's 6, they start at 5, it'll be great at 6. So I think we're okay.
I'm predicting there's gonna be this question. And maybe it's because I've been through it personally. I'm predicting that there's gonna be, say, an aggrieved party that is anticipating an accident. Having construction next door, seeing the elevations, or that they have recently experienced. Or just experienced an accident. I'm
An
wondering,
accident or?
Yeah, what do you mean,
an
accident?
event,
An event.
yes.
okay, I was confused.
Yes, I'm sorry, yeah, an
No, no,
event
no.
from flooding with the stormwater run.
Mhm.
I think they're gonna ask, what exactly is their recourse?
That
And
is one of the questions that was posed, Josh had sent me a
Yeah.
list of questions from residents. And that was one of them, and part of that response, I think, should be. First of all, the way that this particular individual posed the question, it was more about. What is my recourse if if a resident notices their neighbor maybe doesn't have the right amount of recharging happening? And or not even recourse, but what's the process to report it?
Mhm.
Number one.
Mhm.
Number two, what if they, if it's something that has been done years ago? It's not something, like they didn't recently have construction. If they recently had construction, they had to comply with whatever was in place at the time. But the way the question is worded, and when we get to it, I wanted to discuss it because we need to make clear that anything that is already approved in the ground as built,
right,
whatever the case may be, we are not retroactively requiring people to do anything. It is only on projects moving forward
right,
Yeah,
That this
permits
would
moving
apply.
forward.
after post adoption of the new bylaw.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it happens now, it doesn't mean it happened, if
Right.
you already put in a system and yours only does an inch of work, that's fine. If you do additional work, you may have to add more infiltration or alter it somehow, but that does not
How
negate.
would someone know that their neighbor doesn't have enough?
Well, that was my next question, so
Thank
it's like, I'm like, it says, how do you report it? And I'm like, how would you know? So basically, if I'm understanding the question correctly, it's more of a question of, if I notice what I think is runoff coming onto my property, how would I report that to someone, and would it be researched? I mean, we don't necessarily want to encourage people to have phone calls of, hey, my neighbor is
Yeah,
flooding my yard, because you don't know, like, there's no way to know that.
I'm thinking
Other
about
than-
the new construction.
Yeah,
That-
other than somebody literally having a pipe that comes out of their basement and it like flows onto your yard.
that's the building inspector called the building.
To me, that would be to me, it would be a C-click fix. It would be a
Yeah, right, okay.
DPW.
Would recourse only go as high as the DPW director? Is that it? And no more appeals or?
Yeah, well,
According to
basically,
what
it
we
goes,
have
according to what we have now, it would go through building first, if it had to do with something built.
Yeah.
Recently,
Right,
if it hasn't had any maintenance done to it, nothing has happened to that property in 50 years, but all of a sudden the neighbor is saying that they're experiencing more water. I mean, that might call for a further investigation, and it might actually be something they'd have to have investigated on their own. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
if they
agree,
would-
yeah, it's mainly new construction, but I think it's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, if a new construction project causes significant occurrences, I mean, it would have to be over a course of time, and I don't know how to determine what that would be.
So they would go to the building first, but then we go to DPW and then onto the DPW director, and that's the end of the line, right?
Yes.
Are you saying for like just a specific,
Like a
pipe
complaint?
being-
No, like a mud flooded basement.
And they wanna blame the person up gradient, because they.
Because of new
built,
construction,
Because of new construction.
and they weren't following their regulations.
All right,
If they weren't following, if they didn't meet all the criteria.
Yeah.
And they have a certificate of occupancy, then there is. A case to be made that building would have to rectify that somehow.
Yeah.
However. If they did follow all the rules and regulations that were put into place at the time of whatever construction it was approved. And they have an as-built, and they have approvals of reviews through all departments,
They're clear.
I don't really know what else we can do.
I just think that's gonna be, so there's gonna be some questions. I think that's gonna be an issue, I predict, from residents.
Yeah. I also had,
Any other major issue, I hate to say it, but the next step they'd have, if they're not happy with what the DPW does it.
civil, no, it's civil codes.
Yeah,
okay.
kind of like if you argue with your neighbor about the fence.
We
bill
don't
and
vote
notice
that.
on it,
We
you know.
only have as far as the DPW director,
Yeah,
Correct.
for
right,
recourse.
so. I'm not sure how would, like. If it's new construction after we pass the bylaw and pass regulations. The builder, the applicant will have to show that they meet all the pre and post conditions.
Mhm.
So it could be. The post conditions according to the calcs are less of flow going off than pre. And it just happened to be that storm.
Okay, and here's an example, with my example, they took up the erosion controls too soon. And so the storms hit, I could see an accident waiting to happen, I called the contractor. He was down in Philadelphia, and he said, well, we're gonna put a swale, but they had to put the sod down.
Yeah,
And they had tilled everything, so
Right.
they tilled the elevation.
Yeah.
They took the erosion controls up, and the thunderstorms came, and it went right down into my completed basement. And, okay, so
so this will
And-
have
and I
control,
called-
that's during construction, they should have control over the construction, so.
they did not follow
Yeah.
their regulations,
Yeah.
so in an instance like that, I didn't call the building department, but I didn't. Actually, I tried to work diplomatically, with him. He knew right away he was at fault. And he did 8 months later reimburse me. He knew, but I just have a feeling this is gonna come up. So if they have not met their regulations, or if they, it's still, the aggrieved party would still work with DPW.
Yeah,
Only to determine if there was something done
Yeah.
incorrectly
It's a bit
according
safe,
to the
yes.
bylaws and
Right.
regulations.
And if
Assuming all
that's the
that
case,
was, if that's the case,
right, what happens?
definitely during construction. After construction, we would be showing them the paperwork on it meets the requirements or something was missed. You know.
But say if they did not meet their requirements, what
Yeah,
happens
then-
then?
Yeah,
well, then they should.
Then you go to court, but this is just supporting
But
document.
in our bylaw, the end of the line with something like that would be the DPW director. I guess that's my question.
They would be the one to provide you with the information you
yeah,
would
if the
need to.
permit's closed,
Go further.
then,
Yeah.
if the permit's closed, then they would have to go to court.
Yeah.
With the, what happened.
Or the builder could be very nice and reimburse.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if they take responsibility for it, well, then that's fine, but so it would be, we would give you the information. I mean, first of all, it would be a problem if we approved something that was done without hitting all of the marks, like if they didn't put erosion control down at all, and we said, okay, go ahead, they're fine. In an inspection, that's a problem beyond that.
Hmm.
But, if everything was done to the rules and regulations at the time. And they've completed construction, they have a
Right,
certificate of
right.
occupancy,
Right.
everything's good.
Right.
However, now there's a problem, was it the fault of the contract, because it's not the fault of the town, because we approved something that was
Right.
done to rules and regulations, so
Right.
is it the contractor who's responsible for it? Like if they did something out of character, out of order or whatever for what they had? And especially with the new bylaw, if they pass it, it would have supposedly have the calculations of what the flow off the property was before and the flow off the property after. Now, whether or not a court would say it was an act of God, sorry.
Would the
it's a
DPW,
storm.
would the DPW director determine that?
She would not make any of that determination.
Okay, it would have.
It
to-
would be, it would provide you with any documentation that we would have saying that they did everything according to the rules and regulations in the town of Needham.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then it goes further forward. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, do you wanna go through these comments one by one?
I'm sorry,
Walk through?
yeah, all right.
Well, thank you. That's a good question.
Well, I think that's gonna be an issue. I just have a feeling, because people have talked to me.
Yeah.
And they're really frightened on some of these next door construction. The
Yeah.
elevation that's being created with the new construction.
Yeah.
They see what's gonna happen, what can happen.
Well, as of right now,
So-
but as of right now, in our bylaw right
Right.
now, we don't have any determining those kinds of things or anything like
Right.
that, so they're not doing anything wrong. It might be a concern for them, but there's really nothing they can do about it right now.
Right,
If
right, but
they
once
kind of
our
look at it,
regulations,
And
yeah,
the regulations are
right,
passed,
right.
and then they still have their concerns. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, are we gonna say, for instance, that, once this bylaw is passed, its company regulations are going to, resolve the elevations?
the town
Issues
regulations
or-
don't resolve anything, the town regulations and bylaw are going to help to prevent excessive
Elevation
elevation
with the grading.
with the grading.
Okay, so we're gonna be working on.
We're gonna
grading.
have more oversight on it than what we currently have now.
Okay,
But the contractor could still not follow something, like in your case, and still, it's like, there's more stringent bylaw, but. They weren't following it, so it's still.
Right.
yeah.
so,
Right.
the
And then
case
it's a
is-
civil,
Yeah, that's a civil thing.
yeah.
All
It's
right.
kind of the same as so the town of Needham puts up streetlights, stoplights and whatever. If somebody blows through the streetlight in their car and hits your car. You can't go to the town because they did have the streetlights, they were working, wherever, they just ignored it. You have to go to their insurance company and get resolution. So it's kind of the same thing.
Okay.
I guess my question is, with our bylaw, with the revised bylaw, is it more clear on recourse for the agreed parties?
It's not necessarily more clear on recourse, it's more clear as to what we will be understanding the impact of that building and or land disturbance project would have in the surrounding area. Which means that you can then take that information and move further with it, either contacting the actual homeowner or contacting the contract, whatever it may be, and say, look, this is what it said it was gonna do, but now I have this, so what are we coming to? And if that ends up in civil court, that might end up in civil court, I'm not really sure, but as long as DPW, as far as DPW goes, we would just be able to confirm that what they had was
Right.
within the bounds of the bylaw.
Right. And regulation,
And regulation, yeah.
All right,
okay,
so we're gonna jump into comments.
Okay.
Wanna do that?
sure.
Yeah, so the first one,
The draft bylaw, do you want to read?
yeah, sure. The draft bylaw includes required elements, purpose, objectives, enforcement, etc. But contains prescriptive requirements that might be better suited for the regulations. Suggest eliminating prescriptive design criteria from the bylaw and replacing them in the regulation for flexibility and clarity. For example, section 7.10.4.7 design criteria.
This is Dave, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
this-
yes, yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
He's so good at this.
This
I
is
mean,
our
he's-
conservation
Oh, okay.
commission comments.
Um,
The 7.10.
So is that design criteria? for-
Yeah.
yeah,
7.10.4.7.
collective, 1.5 inches, I think. That's bylaw, that's regulations, how they might achieve it, or how they
Correct,
do it. All right.
correct.
That's, we're good on that. Some of it's sort of like, yeah, some can be in regulations, but
I like it as it is. I think it should be, I mean, I think it should be clear in the bylaw, because there are so many different situations.
And it's not something that we wanna be able to regulate further down the road without having to go to town meeting.
Right, so to me, the regulations would be, how do you go about achieving that 1.5 inches?
Right.
What are your
Yeah,
options
yeah.
for that?
So we're
What are
good
you-
with not being able to change that 1.5 inches.
Yeah, I think the 1.5 inches would definitely need to be a town vote type thing, that's too broad of a,
That is a big one.
that's a big change to
Okay.
something, I think
Right.
I think that is the.
Is that term most practicable? With an 1.5 inch minimum.
Yeah, I just feel like the 1.5 inches would definitely need to have public and town buy-in.
Yeah,
It's not that's
Sounds
not a
like a lot of people
regulation.
want more than 1.5 inches. That's
Well,
what-
they might until they go to build something and now it costs them another 10 grand.
yeah, no, I'm hearing that too, but I'm also thinking like. This is better, I mean,
Mhm.
Watertown's 8 inches.
I mean, if this
Which-
works, there's nothing that says we can't go back next year and change it to 2 inches. If everybody seems to be great with it, then great.
Right, but smaller lots, less than 10,000 square foot lots, it's like, how are you gonna start? I mean,
I don't know how you fit it.
right, you're just gonna have an infiltration. Unit in your lot with your house built on top of it.
And-
I'm gonna feel like a parking garage underneath.
Right.
And with Watertown, 8 inches, Needham has more land to infiltrate too, along with the units.
Watertown's also
Watertown
gonna be
doesn't.
flooded. They're
Yeah.
flooding on every,
So I
on every
agree.
wall. They're
Yeah, but
flooding.
they're also 90% impervious cover.
Yeah.
There's no
Okay,
There's no place for the water to go.
Yeah,
all
Yeah.
right, so okay on that?
So I feel like the response, we should put a response here.
Yeah.
You, or tell me what you want for a response, essentially, I wanna know. You know,
So, like. It will be in the regulations, is like, amen, but I think we also want to strike a balance between education. And like it should be in the bylaw, the 1.5
Right.
inch is a major issue.
Sean, what's your comment, hun?
Well, on this point, maybe that's where we're headed. I think the question is a good one, but that's what we've attempted to do, to take some of the specificity out of it and leave it for the regulation, but there are some really key issues that have to be included in the bylaw, and the 1.5 inch is one of them. So I think we're fine the way we've got it, and we've made an attempt to take out a lot of maybe prescriptive things.
agree.
So that's my thought on it, but more of a question of approach here, Kim. Do we
Yeah.
have to go through each comment we've got and provide a response?
No, I just wanna have, if we have something that we wanna say about it, I wanna put something in here, just so that if we get it again, we have what we've said before.
So it's
And
really
document it.
documentation for us.
Correct.
Okay,
I'm not sending the response anywhere.
because I think the bigger picture issue of the 1.5 inches is a whole discussion that we need to have that came up at the select board meeting. You know, it came
Yeah.
up in the comments that Josh got. So I think that's a good issue that we need to be sure we're all in alignment on how we want to respond to that bigger picture question.
Okay,
That can,
yes, amen.
that can come up as we go along, but just, so if you're gonna go through these point by point, I'm good with what everybody's saying on this one.
Okay. However, the next step, Dave does say, have explicit things about including decks, solid surface decks. And then defining decks as 50% impervious, which could be in regulations, but he wants to the bylaw.
Yeah, I would say put in the regs, because
Right.
I can see that. Many decks should be impervious, and some, if you can show that. You're allowed to infiltrate the ground underneath, then maybe it's,
Okay, so that is.
Is that Dave's comment?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he
No,
said,
yeah.
suggest explicitly including decks,
50%.
particularly solid surface decks.
What's this?
alternatively define a deck as 50% impervious. In this town, we consider it either impervious or not impervious. I don't have.
I
great impervious.
don't, I know, I don't agree with that.
Right, it's go, a deck is, it goes, just goes
I
through.
agree, a deck, well, I agree, a deck to an extent alters the flow of water. It does,
Yeah.
there's nothing to, you can't change the fact that if you have water on your deck and there's. You know, there's slats on it, but as it's running off, it's now running down the stairs, not to the ground below it, it's all pooling in one area, so it's changing the flow of water. So honestly speaking, I'm pretty sure, especially in our stormwater assessment, decks are already in the impervious cover of your property.
Wow, I did not know that.
I
Okay.
consider them impervious.
I
We
would,
don't count them in riverfront area.
I would say the
As
It's kind of similar
Okay,
to,
okay,
similarly
It
to
depends
your
on the-
driveway. If you have a gravel driveway, yes, it's gravel, and there is water that gets in there
Yeah.
better than if it was asphalt. However, it's compacted because you're driving on it, it's also leaking oil and other fluids, but in addition, it's compact, like it changes, you're changing the flow of where the
absolutely,
water
it's
goes.
not pervious. On a deck, I'd say, is the rainwater taking the scenic route down to the ground.
so we're, riverfront, it's pervious? Deck is
Well,
considered pervious?
Yeah, we don't count it towards that 10% or
Right,
5,000
right,
square
right.
feet for mitigation.
Right,
Okay. Low permeable soil, current definition is vague. Sorry, I am. Well, we're
The
talking-
current definition is vague, recommend including a numerical standard such as less than 0.1 inch per hour infiltration rate. To
That
me,
makes-
low permeability soil, yeah, we'd be defining in the regulations what the low permeable.
Right.
What it would mean, if you think you have low permeable soil, it means you have to meet this criteria. And
Right.
these are your alternatives.
Okay,
The law bylaw is just saying, if you have low permeable soil,
you,
you have to figure it out, like you have to
Right.
use the regulations to figure out how to.
Yeah.
Make it happen,
can I
Fair
just
enough.
back up a little bit?
yes.
Tom, do you think it's too prescriptive?
Low permeable
No,
soil.
no, back to the first.
Oh, about
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
1.5 inches?
Yeah, well, just in general on design criteria, do you think that's too prescriptive? Do you think it should not include the?
No, I think we should, give the town expectations, but. But maybe there's a way to say also have some more and. Most practicable as well, so you don't just, oh, inch and a half, an inch and a half, maybe the regulations say. Hey, you gotta do something else,
Yeah, I hesitate to use the word
Yeah.
practicable, cause
Yeah.
I can already hear
Yeah.
people saying, well, it's just
Yeah.
not practical for me to do this.
yes, yeah, no.
It's not practical for me to miss out
Practical.
on a,
Yeah.
One inch and a
On a
half
fifth bedroom.
minimum, you know.
sorry, but.
So we can leave design criteria as is, we haven't included, if the decks are not included here, it's just.
Right.
Yeah,
That
well,
could
yeah,
be
it is,
right.
yeah, it is. Yeah, I
Are
think
they
it
on
hurts,
there?
there's beyond the roof. I don't know, I think it all should be in there, I don't think it's too prescriptive.
Yeah, I don't think so, either.
Yeah, and he wants it in, second point.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to back up.
You know, but I agree, it's, I don't think it's. That prescriptive, but.
Okay, so that's that. We leave that as is,
Okay,
right?
I'm just gonna pause here for just one moment.
Next up is new construction. He writes needs clarification on whether to include tear down.
Yeah.
Rebuilt or existing foundations with no increase in impervious area.
So the way we handled that in the bylaw, and
Right.
maybe it's not to his liking, but the way we handled it was that it's up to. Conservation, like it's up to the permitting authority.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Say it again, you're talking with the definition.
right,
Needs clarification of whether or not the new construction includes tear down,
Oh,
rebuild, or
okay.
whatever, but if. In the definition of new construction as a building
yeah,
entity, it is anything up to anything including the foundation. But conservation includes it, even if the foundation is still intact.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
we spent time
No.
on that one.
that's rehab. Redo,
Um,
right now,
yes,
okay,
but we have, gotten in arguments between well, building is the authority and they say that it doesn't count, and we say,
Right,
well,
but you're the authority for
Right.
the conservation.
So we,
So-
I like that, so we're splitting it
right,
with Solomon's.
So if
Yeah,
it
The
was.
wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah, so we're cutting the baby in half, essentially, if they're in a wetland area and under the. Purveyance of conservation, they have the authority to say, we're considering this an entirely new construction because of the amount of
and you
stuff that's
need
going on.
to.
And you need to do this. Whereas for a regular building department in the middle of town, where it's not next to conservation land, it may not be as impactful. But because you're on a wetland, in a wetland buffer or in a wetland area, your property does.
So if they're not increasing impervious and building on the foundation that's there, do they trigger stormwater?
They still trigger stormwater because they're building, but they don't trigger having. I mean, do they? They trigger it, but not to the same degree. They trigger. They would trigger it because they're potentially. Well, they would trigger it because it's an alteration. And technically speaking, they would be altering more than 25% of building.
Right.
So if you are. And,
Okay.
and because now we're also at a scale.
So it's not just the impervious, the 25%.
Because they're also doing an alteration. What we have in the bylaw is considering the entire impervious area now, not the case of just the impervious area of the roof. So the way that the bylaw is currently stated,
Mhm.
it just matters if you're increasing the roof size by more than 25%. But we have it as if you're increasing the impervious cover by more than 25%, meaning before they didn't include the driveway, the sidewalk,
Right.
the stairs, any of that other stuff.
We're catching a lot more.
Yeah,
But we are not touching the roof at all.
No, we are.
we are. It includes the roof, but not
So-
just the roof.
So the math begins much, like, it's a lot more math.
But you're not increasing the impervious area of the house.
You're not increasing the impervious area of the house, but we are now asking them to include counting the other impervious areas on your property. If you have a shed, a 200 square foot shed, that also counts, even though.
No, I understand
So you
that.
triggered with the 25% for a building, but you also triggered with the. If you're increasing it 25% of impervious as well, so
Right.
it's another trigger point.
Yeah.
So they're not combined, they're just individual trigger points.
That you,
So
If
they're not
any-
increasing driveway, they're not increasing any of that, they're bringing
That's
it down
increasing.
to, you
Right.
know, just the base of the house.
Hold on,
Then it doesn't trigger anything.
no,
Yeah.
hold on. So he's going to the definition, new construction, so
Yeah.
this is what he's commenting on, refer to the zoning bylaw or, wetlands protection regulations.
Mhm.
So I went to the zoning bylaw,
Oh, he said he couldn't find anything or something?
yeah, and it's right here,
new construction means any one or.
so. So vacant lot. Any construction which involves demolition more than 50%. Of the building,
Of the building shell.
So exclusive, so that means not including, right? Exclusive of the demolition
Of
of
a.
the garage,
of a separate garage.
so if. If you do 100% of the garage and 40% of your house, then that doesn't meet new construction.
Yeah. Pursuant to any issue permit 2 years prior.
We should put this in the regulations.
Yes, okay,
And then we can change it when the zoning bylaw changes, which it does, rather than changing.
yeah.
Stormwater bylaw.
Please, no, right, yeah,
So
absolutely.
we say refer to zoning board of appeals or wetlands protection regulations.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then we put this into the stormwater regulations, and that's what we can.
okay,
The prescription change.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Are we good with that explanation then?
I'm still not getting it, but it's okay.
So for new construction,
The building on the,
Because that's 50% of a change in the building, even if you haven't, even if the foundation remains.
Yeah.
it's less than 50% of it. So now you're adding 50%, you've changed more than 50% of the building. So now you trigger two things, that you're gonna capture more and we're gonna count all impervious. Even if
Okay.
your driveways.
So how
was the
was that
same.
different than a new build from?
It's not,
scratch?
it's not. It's not a game, it's not a get out of jail thing, you just say, if you wanna save your old foundation, it's fine, but it doesn't get you anything. You're still.
Cause
you're
that's
still
what
like-
the argument was,
Hmm.
that was against us, was that the building department says that. That it doesn't trigger it, if you're.
But here it does.
It doesn't in our current bylaws, the way our current bylaws are written, it does not trigger it, because
Right.
it's not considered. It's not considered a complete tear down,
Okay,
so it is just considered. a Partial tear down, I guess is what they call it,
okay,
But now we're calling just, it's more than 50%.
right,
So you might as well take out that basement,
okay,
rather than say the old cinder block thing.
okay.
That's my read, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, test pits. Oh, wait, hold on. First sentence, I don't know where it is on first sentence, land work is undefined. Recommended replacing land disturbing activity. I don't know where he is, because it doesn't cite it. I'm assuming maybe he's.
can you just do a control F and go for land?
What, notes?
Yeah.
But the land work, really,
Not sure how exactly,
Land and space work,
but
space work,
is that it right there? Use.
no, because it's under applicability.
okay, right, 7.4. First sentence. Yeah, all right, 7.4.1, anyone proposing construction or land work that meets. He's suggesting it be land disturbing activity,
Yeah, okay, that's what.
okay?
that's what I have.
Third bullet should explicitly include tear downs that do not increase impervious surface. Third bullet is change in grading or existing water flow resulting in additional surface water being shed into other properties, public infrastructure or natural resources. I don't want to say. That's impossible, you don't have a tear down that doesn't increase impervious surface anymore. He's saying, should explicitly include tear downs that do not increase impervious surface, but there's no such thing anymore.
Right, cause it's triggered.
It's triggered,
Yeah.
you're catching it more.
Right, because we're
Everything's wrong.
including we're not just doing the tear down of the building as impervious surface, we're also doing. The walkway to your house, your driveway,
The
your
pool, the
Yeah.
sports court,
shed, whatever,
the
If
helipad.
you tear down your house, you're starting over again like it's new construction.
Yeah.
And you have to meet the inch and a half.
And even if you say the basement, you're still changing 50% of the house.
So he's questioning the way I was thinking of it, I think,
Yes.
so we're both confused, I guess.
No, you got it.
Okay.
It is confusing.
Mm-hmm,
Alright, test pits, required test pit in the locations to be shown on plot plans.
so am I changing that to say land disturbing activity or not?
Yeah, land disturbing, you okay? with that?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Hold on. Let me-
Changing the bylaw. This is democracy.
mm-hmm.
Do we need to vote to change it, or are we just changing? it?
We have consensus.
Just making sure.
John, you okay with that?
Yes,
Thank you. All right, and let me know when you're ready to go.
Just give me one moment to get to it and I.
Hold please, hold please. I just think it's adorable when she does that and.
At my previous job, my girlfriend and I say that all the time, like, we were in marketing, or then people would ask us things all the time, like, hold please.
I think that's very cute.
New construction or addition that exceed 25% of the existing building footprint and also require approval.
So is it footprint? Then,
No construction or land disturbance activities that meet one or more of these shall
I feel like,
commence prior to obtaining approval.
are you talking about the volume of the house? Instead of the footprint of the impervious?
Not volume.
Nope,
What's your scenario? What are you talking about? For tear down or for?
For a tear down to the foundation. So normally the
Shell.
impervious of the house is the roof, right?
Yeah.
So now you're saying,
It doesn't
So the
matter
way-
the stories.
So the way the zoning board of appeals definition of new construction is that if you're tearing off the 50% of the shell,
what is the shell?
shell is all the
framing.
framing.
Do we have a definition of shell?
We know it.
Okay,
So I changed it to say. Anyone proposing construction or a land disturbing activity that meets any of the following thresholds must comply with this bylaw.
Yeah.
It says any construction
Safe.
which involves demolition of more than 50% of the building shell exclusive of demolition of a single story attached garage.
Isn't shell like self-evident? The
Yeah.
shell means the envelope, the shell means the,
Shell, yeah.
I
are you
mean,
making fun of me in your mind?
no, no, I think. Like,
I mean, if
I'm
they keep up
saying-
3 walls and just take down the 4th wall, that's fine, they're gonna have to build their house around it, which means they're gonna increase the footprint and trigger it anyway.
Okay.
Say that once more.
Not that it's like a calcium.
But he was talking about the shell.
Right,
the whole
both
thing,
here,
like,
here,
they
here,
could
here.
probably avoid it if they kept up 3 of the 4 walls, but then they'd have to build their house around the walls and then take the walls down inside of it, so they're gonna have to increase the footprint anyway, so
Right.
just take the damn walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, that's how I interpret, yeah, shell is, you take down 2 walls, that's 50%.
Right,
Well, and roof,
and roof, so it's over 50, so you're. This is happening. All right, test pits, require test pits and the locations to be shown on plot plans.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, is that in?
And I think we have, I thought we had that requirement in here.
I thought we said the test pit part of it
It's gonna be in the regulation.
was gonna be in the regulation. Because it's under, you put what you have to put on your plot, on your plot plan.
Yeah.
So requiring test pits.
Yeah.
Fine with me.
Well, for the plan, it's gotta be,
The bylaws should say you have a plot plan, right, it should say what's on.
What's on the plot plan, right,
Yeah.
so that's why I think the test pits. And the
Yeah.
infiltration system and the
P-
PE requirements are
Yeah.
all regulation related things
Okay.
that we haven't released yet.
so, and here's, okay, so I responded to that too. Test pits should be required with facilities, for locations shown on the plot plan.
What's HGWT? High.
Groundwater table,
Okay,
in accordance with this section, the sizing calculation provided. Oh,
Okay.
that's just another comment, yes.
Yeah, I think the regulations is where that belongs,
Mhm.
it shouldn't be in the bylaw,
I agree.
because that can change, because if we require something
Mhm,
additional in the plot
mhm.
plan, we can change that at any time. If it's in the bylaw, we're not changing it.
okay, and then, we're going, next
Not
one
changing it
is
frequently.
infiltration systems must align with 7.10.4.3 and 7.10.4.7.
Yeah, see, we have it.
Same thing.
We have it right here, for free. Erosion control along with soil testing results from a qualified soil evaluator. So we have that in there, we have required soil testing.
Under pre-construction,
Okay,
So yeah, that's where it numbers. And then low permit.
what's the number on it?
7.10.3.4.
7.10.4.3.
Yeah, post construction.
Okay, infiltration systems must align with
Right.
3 and 7,
So,
post-construction and,
design criteria.
yeah.
Test pit that's shown on the plot plan for the application. Um, is there a possibility, I mean, they've done the test pit. But is there a possibility that all of a sudden that's gonna change, that soil is not gonna be suitable? And that they have to find another site?
So we'll have to,
You mean in between the time that they take the
Yeah.
test pit and they,
The soil
Apply?
changing?
Yeah, but I don't know, but yeah, they submit the plot plan with the test pit.
so the critical, I think, the thing is where the water table is when they do the test pit, so. So if they have low permeable soils. I think as
They
long
would
as they, capture 1.5 inches. They'll meet the spirit of the bylaw. But if they put the system in the water table, then they'll capture anything, yeah.
I think
So-
what she's saying is like, can you ever have, at what point, if you took a soil boring?
Yeah.
And then went down and did the application, like 3 months later, is it's gonna change, the makeup of the soil gonna change at all, ever?
Or
To a significant
will there-
amount? to
Or
where
will
you
there be a
wouldn't-
situation where they're gonna have to change the site for the, I don't know.
Right.
After construction,
Well, when they submit the plot plan with with the application.
I'm gonna go with no.
yeah,
I don't think a soil
Okay.
boring would ever change that drastically, that it would change what you're doing on the property.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, okay.
Unless, yeah, unless there's a,
Mm.
unless a sinkhole opens up and swallows the house, then
Okay.
potentially that may have changed the soil.
that'd be bad, right?
It could be detrimental, yeah.
Yeah, there could be other problems.
There goes the.
I'm thinking that would be your least of your concern, but I don't think anything happened. I don't think a soil would, I mean, it might change a little bit. It definitely, it probably could change where the water table comes up,
Yeah, but you see the modeling and
but,
how you determine the fluctuation
Yeah.
during the
right,
year.
but my point is, like, even if it came up, I mean, is it really coming up that much to offset how you have to design something? Probably not.
Okay, okay. Okay,
Again,
Just
unless,
checking, just
you know,
checking.
unless no one moves into town and we're now
With conservation,
in an
they
arc.
give you the test bit, it's recorded, and then something might change, and there's more likelihood with conservation that it's.
Well, yeah, because of where it's located, because it's near wetlands.
Yeah.
That might
Right,
happen.
that. Anyway, yeah, keep going, I don't wanna interrupt.
I
I think
know.
I'm just in a case of confusion
me
tonight.
too.
Tonight, also, this is a bit inside.
Go for it, go for
I
it.
don't know if I'm
You
gonna,
guys are speaking the same
I
language.
don't know if I'm gonna recover.
Current language implies as-built drawings must be by a PE, designs or not. Yes, we discussed this.
Yeah.
Surveyors could do designs or one of the.
Right now,
Bill, didn't we change that?
okay,
I thought we changed that.
Right.
so currently surveyors are doing the designs what they shouldn't be, so it should be,
Yeah, there's a
Fresh.
definite delineation between what each
Yeah.
can do.
yeah.
Okay. Are we, yeah, your call. Purchase.
So it should be an engineer, designing, but I can see some. Some parts of the, stormwater system that. Doesn't need a designer, that maybe, like certain connections and. But I think we should keep it as the design.
Where's
civil engineer.
So,
Under as-built, we had an as-built section, correct? Yeah, there you go. Under as-built, the as-built drawing must accompany the certified plot plan, which is the PE part of it.
yeah. And then,
Although the plot plan, hold on. Any project stormwater,
Hold, please.
Hold, please. Registered professional engineer, the as-built drawing shall accurately reflect the file configuration, elevation, dimensions, and materials. Okay. the as-built drawings must accompany the plot plan. So we're saying the plot plan can be done by a surveyor, but not the design, the final
Design.
as.
Yeah, I would,
You wanna change it? Change it.
yeah, I would, so I'd like to correct that to say that. There is a plot plan that's required by the surveyor, but there should be a design submitted
Okay,
as well,
let's do that.
yeah.
So should we say it needs to be in addition to,
So is this under, this is
under
coming in?
as-built?
As built.
Well, an as-built is, has the. Designed by a professional engineer.
Yeah.
So I think, I think
Paragraph.
he's saying it must be prepared by all projects. It does not require to suggest that it is required a certain size. I'm not sure.
Then the as-built drawings must.
Yeah, he's saying every project needs to have an engineer, not,
He's good.
not if they're just a larger project, it's every single project.
Do the test.
Yeah.
pit,
So,
Submit it with the notice of intent.
Yes.
so,
Is that a
Should be
little person?
right.
so I'm thinking like, I think there's gonna be circumstances where. That, hey, they're filling in with the
Oh,
10 feet of the property, but
Okay,
all they really need to do is show that they have a permanent swale and
yeah.
they're good.
Okay,
Or there might be a case like, oh no, you're increasing the impervious area, you need a designer.
Okay,
So there might be like these small projects that could get triggered into regulations that
Yeah,
can, if they're adding a certain amount of square feet of driveway, can they just,
yeah.
do they need to hire a civil engineer?
that's good. All right. Right, that's the stuff you need to talk about.
Yeah,
We're just trying to do a small thing, so.
right, yeah,
So let's put the flexibility. in.
Yeah, well,
As
that
case by
says it
case,
doesn't
or as
have to.
required,
yeah, as required,
This
yeah, maybe.
is-
or as
This is the
determined or
newest
required
regulations.
by.
Oh, the
the-
stormwater management. council.
So.
Hmm.
The
A lot of the
stormwater,
building department's gonna wanna field a call every single day, and somebody saying, hey, is this
The
a
worst thing, and I'm like,
required? What's
You
this?
must be
It's
going
not.
crazy with the fire.
They have to have a method of being able to determine on their own.
Then say.
Yeah, no, it
engineer,
does, it is.
And then if they push back,
Okay.
he's the engineer,
you can say, but like we give,
Oh, and also.
we talk about giving little
is
release
there
valve
is
stuff in here.
yeah,
So is this a
impervious
release valve time
Defined
that you could,
in,
yeah, but yeah,
in the regulations.
so they're gonna say like. 90% of the projects are gonna be requiring an engineer,
Yeah.
but there's gonna be these small little piddly things that get triggered, so it's like, oh, you gotta hire an engineer to add 500 square feet of.
well, then in that case, you can just say,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Do we need that in the bylaw?
No,
No, I don't think so,
Do you see it there? No. Do you should be there?
Mm,
I'm asking you.
but just making sure,
don't ask me, I'm not legal.
in any case.
make sure that we're
evaluation
answering this
must be
question though.
Yeah, so make it
prepared for
professional opinion.
installation.
A PE in both cases,
With the
You
order,
understand.
I mean, right,
that like,
Within
in
a-
small cases.
yeah,
Yeah,
But
And then
like, you can't,
record
you can't write a
Right.
bylaw saying, for the small jobs,
right,
you know, or.
that's for the regulation, yeah.
maybe that
It's like-
thing, that decision came after the regulations.
So what section is that again?
Well, as required by.
Maybe
As
that
required,
decision, not
as
decision,
wiggle room,
as a result of.
because
one
you say the
meeting,
regulation, well, this is not.
and the
required for
regulations
small.
had already been,
So-
Yes, but how is it an applicant?
This is our-
Like, they
I
just
know.
click on the button
I know.
on,
but
Website-
those
on the
were
website.
revised.
Yeah.
how do
Those
they
are
know
fine.
if it's applicable or not?
March.
March,
You're right,
then,
they would say professional engineer, and it's, okay, we'll do it. But if they push back,
that's when you wanted to do
and
that,
it's
I think
okay,
you're
you can-
begging for
Dave,
a lot of.
okay.
before the
and
order of
people down
conditions
here.
was.
Here.
Well,
And
let's
so-
not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah, I think that's
The
just a
notice
meeting for somebody to
Right.
be like, hey,
So that they're
I don't agree with Kelly.
Actually, while we're in this section here,
infiltration.
7.10.4.2.
Exactly,
The permitting authority
Exactly.
or designee shall form inspections at various stages of the process. So I would
I mean, same.
want to
about
revise
recording,
that, cause it's
That's the
telling. It's given us
Changes
that
happen.
we need to do inspections, it's like putting a requirement on
No,
permitting authority,
okay,
so maybe.
That's telling.
Um,
May perform, inspections at various stages.
Maybe, yeah, must be contacted with the permit process by the applicant for inspections as determined by the permitting authority.
Okay,
Something like,
watching the case there.
yeah, so we're not,
We're not babysitting.
this is, right, this is,
Right.
this makes it our requirements for the bylaw. So what happens if we don't fulfill our requirements?
Right. Yes,
So-
okay,
Do we get a fine?
let's give it, right,
So,
do you guys get that, 7.10.4.2?
We were looking
No.
at conservation regulations.
No, we're sorry. I do not get what you're saying.
My mind is muddled.
so John, did you hear that?
Which part?
7 point,
I would change
10.4.2.
shall to may, but
Yeah,
other than that, I wouldn't change that at all.
yeah, I would say change shall to may,
Yeah,
and that gives you, but then he was saying, but at some point, they have to plug into the permitting process and alert the town
Yeah.
at stages,
Yeah,
like electric stuff on that.
yeah, we can put that, we can just put may and then put that in the regulations, the rest of it, like.
Okay.
Shall and contact the permitting authority during various stages.
Hey, John?
Yeah.
Sometimes screen sharing is covering up your little headshot. So I can't see if your hand is raised. So if ever you have a question, just start shouting out, okay?
Okay, yeah. No, I'm agreeing with Tom on where he's approaching this stuff, so I'll yell out if
Okay.
I have a problem.
All right.
okay, just say, so on the as-built drawing, we have two paragraphs. The second paragraph states, the as-built drawings must accompany the certified as-built plot plan, which is required to be stamped by a Massachusetts registered land surveyor. However, we're saying as-built drawings, blah, 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 blah. Okay,
I'm sorry,
so
where-
we're saying that the plot plan can be done by a land surveyor.
Tell me what section you're in.
We're in section 7.10.4.6
As built.
Okay,
as built. So on the second paragraph, the way that first sentence reads, the as-built drawings must accompany the certified as-built plot plan, which is required to be stamped by a registered land surveyor. Together, these documents provide verification that stormwater management systems have been constructed in accordance with the approved plans and comply with the requirements of this bylaw and associated regulations. So we're saying
you need 2 plans.
you need two plans for every project.
Yeah.
You need a plot plan, which I assume, but I think the plot plan is what they give you at the beginning though, isn't it?
Yeah. The plot plan is created, it's supposed to have the test holes, someone wants trees noted on there.
And then the design needs to be designed by the engineer, but my question as well is, do we have anywhere in there? Are we putting anywhere in there, what projects do not need an engineer's design, and if so, where?
So I think we were talking about this in Kevin's like. As required, and then put in the regulations where we can be a little bit more flexible.
Right, the small jobs,
Yeah.
I mean, the 5 to
Obviously, it
10
needs to
stuff.
be designed. As required, and then. Add that to the regulations.
So under design criteria,
Yeah. So.
shall be designed in accordance with
Okay.
the stormwater handbook, blah, blah, blah. This is where we should say in here, and designed by a PE.
Say PE. As required.
Yeah.
The nice one, as required. Is that someone reading it will say, oh, okay, as required, I get it, but. Tom can interpret it as, in this case, not required, but you can do a survey. That's my read on as required.
As designed, comma, as required,
Yeah, we.
and in accordance with SEMs as outlined in the Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook. And the stormwater regulations.
I just lost what paragraph here.
I'm on the first paragraph of 7.10.4.7,
Okay, thank you.
and I changed it to say. Infiltration and other stormwater management systems shall be designed as required and in accordance with SCMs as outlined in the Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook and the Stormwater Regulations.
Yes. Bill, you-
So in the regulations,
Oh, designed by a professional engineer. I forgot
Yeah.
that, by a professional engineer.
it'll be in the regulations, what exactly should be included in the plot plan, correct?
Yes,
That would be. the-
Yes, yeah.
So the difference between the present plot plan and other people have suggested other things.
This is not being, this is not being shared, so I know you're looking at it.
Oh, yeah, thank
Yeah,
you, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm
I
like,
can-
what?
I can switch it, sorry, my apologies, I'm not even thinking.
Well, these are my notes, which I didn't put on the SharePoint,
Right, gotcha.
so.
So she'll be designed by a PE
Okay.
as
Switch it.
required.
Here we go, alright, so back over to here.
I'm sorry, Sue, you were saying something.
So. I've got a plot plan moving forward with this when we get the regulations. We're gonna also be including, the present plot plan now does not require test pits, right?
Right,
Okay, it does not require, I know some people were suggesting a tree, the trees,
Right.
sites.
That does this, so we're not doing that.
We don't know. We're taking up the
Yeah,
thought.
well, I'm just thinking what other people have suggested.
the current submittals don't require this.
Yeah.
That's
What
what
else
she's
was
saying.
suggested
Right.
too? Trees, the tree sites, the test pit, the tree sites. Well, the contours would be.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
that's a
then
good
we're gonna
one.
have some contours and, the test
Yeah,
bits.
you know that Heidi had mentioned adding trees to the plot plan
Yeah.
on ours, which is
I think, did Ed also mention
helpful.
that too?
Yeah, it would be helpful, but at the same time, we're also veering into the overlapping
I
Yeah.
know,
of the tree and the other, so in lieu of that being there, we could have it there, but it would definitely have to be in regulations, because I think we tick it out
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
once they
right,
have a
right,
tree ordinance or whatever.
yeah, I think
Right.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like, I feel like we're dipping our toe into too many
yeah,
pockets, and it's kind of a bit much.
I know.
And I get that the plot plan that they provide us, I mean, it'd be great if a plot plan is a plot plan is a plot plan, and you can provide it for anything you need to do in town, however.
Right.
Trees is kind of a specific thing, and I don't know that I would have gone through and identified the 72 trees in my backyard
Yeah.
when I moved in.
no, and I think like, if Tripp was here, he would say like, well, I might just show it to all gone.
Yeah,
I'll cut them down. Okay, so, and sometimes. Builders, I may, back to the seller, say, cut your trees down, I'll buy it. And so that's not on
Yeah.
them, and so it's sort of like, oh, I ain't got this, so why are we playing this game?
yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, maybe if you have any, because there was a question on the building permit that asks, are there any town-owned trees within 10 feet of your property?
Yes, that should be,
That might be something we could put on the plot plan, but individual trees in your yard, I don't know.
It's gonna be,
who's
it would be a crowded plot plan, that's for
assess
sure.
them.
that changes every growing season, boss.
Yeah,
I mean, every hurricane season. I mean,
well,
how-
and what
how-
happens if somebody, if your kids plant a tree every year, like what, I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
I get you. I think it's, alright.
I think it might be dipping a toe in too far.
Yes.
Myself, but that's just me.
Alright, can we move on to the next one? We are
Silence.
crawling past this.
I'm sorry.
Did we answer
Yes,
Dave's stuff?
Yes,
we did.
yes.
He had one about the
Okay.
inconsistency and we, but I think dealt with it
Okay.
to our satisfaction. Reiterate that 1.5 inch standard is a volumetric requirement, not dynamic.
Mhm.
Can you explain that to me, please?
He makes a good point
It's
where,
like impervious surface and, the shell,
right, so they could.
They don't need it.
Yeah,
shell.
so. So the amount of water that infiltrates into the ground is not gonna be calculated as part of the sizing of the system. So,
Okay, so therefore it's not, the inches is now we're talking
right,
gallons.
yeah, so they could, like theoretically, they could make a smaller system because it's saying you only ask for 1.5 inch capture. And because it's infiltrating at you know, so many inches per hour, I have, you know, I can put a smaller system in.
Okay. Okay, so
We want,
not dynamic, so we don't want that, we want volumetric.
yeah, so static, we call it static. Static volume.
Okay, so where do we put that? Is that in regs or is that here?
I think,
So is that based on the type of soil?
yeah,
Like
so,
whether it's.
so like if you have sand,
Or, yeah.
yeah,
So
Okay.
where do we start talking about 1.5? Sorry.
And I feel strongly though that because with regulations, we're gonna have how you calculate your soil permeability.
Yeah.
I believe. Isn't that what we discussed?
So,
yeah.
So we would give them a prescriptive way to calculate it and you could
So
Right,
that's the way to
do
do
it like in volume, not
Right.
in another method.
All right, do we need to say volume in the bylaw? Or do we say volume or?
I think what we
Yeah.
said is fine, or what does Tom say?
Where are we? Right.
yeah. Well, I was just trying to think about how would someone try to sneak around it?
For properties resulting in more than 4,000 square feet of impervious surface post-construction, infiltration systems must be designed to collect and infiltrate a minimum of 1.5 inches of rainfall. Over,
We can say a static volume.
collect in a static volume
Along with specifically standard two.
equivalent to a minimum of 1.5 inches of rainfall over the purpose.
Static volume, yeah.
But don't we use the word volumetric in the bylaw now? I know I've seen it in there.
Yeah, let me see, yeah.
I mean, it is important point, but I think we've already made the point.
I hope so. Your memory's better than mine then, because I don't.
I mean, it's a
Well-
little hard thing for people, I think, to understand what that means, but I mean, that's
But
what.
there we are. In 7.10.4.3,
Combined volumetric capacity recharge at least.
can we reiterate that in 7.10.4.7?
Sure. What is that in?
Or is it
7 point what?
Is it necessary?
3, 4.3.
Thank you.
And then pop it in, because obviously it got by him and he's reading it closely.
The last sentence in that, when it refers to compliance with the Mass Stormwater Standard, specifically standard two, peak rate attenuation, is that all volumetric?
Which section?
1, 2, 3, 7.10.4.7. Third paragraph down with that last sentence, with that covering that more than 4,000 square feet impervious? Is that already kind of implied?
For projects more than 4,000 square feet.
Yeah, what I'm saying, at the end, it says specifically standard two, but mentions the Massachusetts Stormwater Standard, specifically standard two.
And standard 3.
Peak rate attenuation and standard three recharge.
Yeah, so yeah.
Is that enough? Do you have to?
Right, the standard three. You know, is less than 1.5 inches, always. Right? Because we have, yeah. Because the stormwater policy, I think they have, not sure what they're, 1/2 inch maybe for sand. Or maybe, no,
Oh, so
0.6 inches, I think.
The state,
Yeah, 0.6 inches, I think. So,
oh, interesting, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
so. Yeah, they want, I think standard three is, we look up standard three, I think it's,
Is that all volumetric? Or should volumetric somehow be added there? I don't know.
So my question is,
Isn't
in
that-
the second paragraph of the design criteria, which I'm sharing right now, so if you go to the screen, this
Yep.
screen sharing one time. I changed it to say. For properties containing 4,000 square feet or less of impervious area. Of impervious surface post-construction. Infiltration systems must be designed to have a minimum combined volumetric capacity to recharge at least 1.5 inches of rainfall.
Ding, love it.
Okay,
Okay,
so more, let me go this way here.
Yeah, that's in our regulations.
they probably put it in.
from here.
Yeah.
The only difference between if you have less than 4,000 square feet or if you have more than 4,000 square feet is that if you have more than 4,000 square feet of impervious cover, you also have to demonstrate compliance with peak rate attenuation and recharge
Right,
regulations
Mhm.
in the stormwater handbook,
okay,
Massachusetts stormwater standards.
okay, cool. All right, next, we go on to clarify whether stormwater modeling is required for all projects or just over 4,000 square feet. I think we just did.
Right.
Okay, tree planting requirements. This broad requirement, at least 3 trees per site isn't true, it's per SEM.
Right.
Maybe better suited for the tree bylaw.
I
But
don't disagree,
yes.
but
right,
we all, that's why we put in there, in absence of the
Right,
tree
exactly.
Bylaw,
thing, this is
Right.
what we did.
yes,
So
so,
once they have a tree thing, ours is,
okay, just, this is an Aesop fable. A bird in the tree is worth 2 in the bush.
Then
Question
something about
is who's
your hand.
A bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush.
I know.
Oh,
Depends on who owns the bush.
All right, so I'm okay with that. Implementations, difficulty in small parcels.
Existing trees maybe would comply, I don't think we would ask them to remove trees,
No, I mean-
add trees.
Right, but he also says existing trees may be removed to comply.
Nah, that's not
But
gonna happen.
that, I think that's false, because I think honestly, every builder cuts every tree down as a matter of course.
Hmm,
So they're not like saving trees.
right.
And so this isn't compelling them to cut more trees down. I think they're cutting all the trees down anyways. So
Mhm,
this is a chance to get some trees planted.
mhm.
We mourn them, but nothing's worse than.
Providing alternative compliance options,
Right.
planting is not feasible, again, done in the regulations.
Right, and clear how this applies to multiple infiltration systems is only, as Joe said, is easy for him to understand and apply. You have this, you have this, it's not a judgment
Well, so
call.
basically, so what he's not, what I look, either we didn't make it clear or he didn't understand is. Example, this broad requirement, 3 trees per site, we required it 3 trees per system, so in
Right.
other words, if you have. A 4 bay. If you have 2 sets of 4 bays, you're planting 6 trees.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so I like this, and Joe likes it because he can back it up, he can count it, and everyone
Right.
understands it, it's not a value judgment of.
I will say that somewhere, who was it that said the 2
Ed.
inches, Ed said 2-inch trees are more standard than 2.5.
We require 2.5,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Do you wanna say 2 to 2.5 inch? Well, and also we can come to it like
Say
this, Gabby
2 inch.
brings it up again.
Well, I'm just trying to make it so that if they say, we say 2.5 inch, I don't want them to then go to conservation, like, well, they said 2 inches fine, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
conservation
yeah,
required
right.
2.5.
Okay,
Right,
So I wanna make it as
and consistent,
consistent between the departments as possible.
alright,
So, but
would anyone like a way of this?
if they're,
What about?
if they're in conservation for a permit,
Mhm.
and they have to cut down some trees, and we have a 2-to-1 tree replacement requirement. They can't twofer. They can't, they're putting in infiltration, they have to put in 3 trees. They can't say those same 3 trees are counting to replace trees.
that's up to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Okay,
and those were, native, non-invasive, I like that.
Yeah.
Trees, yeah.
Alright.
not
And,
even cultivar.
by the way, when we talk trees, we mean trees, we're not talking like a dogwood tree, or are we talking about a maple tree? Do you
Well,
care
A
to
native
distinguish?
dogwood,
I know, but like, that's clearly never gonna have the same capacity or. As like a maple tree or an oak, there's no canopy to dogwood,
are we waiting for the tree committee to come along?
yeah, that's, alright, that's that, okay.
Anyway, then,
It'll come, alright, moving on, consider broadening enforcement authority beyond the DPW
So you
director.
gotta update that 2 inches or.
The 2.5, we'll
The
keep
2
it.
inch thing, I'm gonna keep 2.5.
I would too.
It's consistent,
Okay.
alright, so,
I owe you so much.
beyond DPW, it's civil, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we say that? Okay,
Yeah.
recommend that submitted plans identify and locate trees. Now. That's,
Regulate.
I mean, other than locate where you're gonna plant the trees you're supposed to have because of how many systems you have,
Yeah.
maybe, but all the trees on your property,
town-owned trees maybe, but we're not the tree bylaw people.
Right.
And that's also in regulations, how they're gonna do this, so that's. All right, so just adding incentives for homeowners who exceed the minimum requirements. Well,
I
amen.
responded to, yeah, well, I responded to
So
Ed, that, this is Ed's comments,
Is it as comments?
yes, I responded to Ed. That. We are working on, we haven't completed it yet, but we're working on, an abate, no, not, an abatement, like a credit program for the stormwater assessment.
Yeah.
I mean, you get so much money off, or so much percentage off of your bill, if you do, all above and beyond what's required in the bylaw. So if the bylaw is requiring something as a minimum, if they also
Okay.
have a rain garden and they use, I don't know, they stick plants on the roof and suck up the water that way, and they add a cistern on their property to collect, 82,000 gallons of water, and they do whatever, that would negate, that would apply to a credit on their stormwater assessment, because they're doing more than what the rest of the town is doing.
And can we clarify that in regulations, not by law?
We're not gonna find that anywhere here, because it has to do with the stormwater assessment, which is not,
That's still fledgling.
Yeah.
All right,
So we can't include that.
I wouldn't, I would say that it's great to encourage them to do it, but. I'm not gonna give
The
them
time
credit
will
for
come.
planting, 5 more trees, and then next year the trees are dead, cause they
Yeah,
didn't
right,
take care of them.
right.
Trees are expensive and uses me when people do stuff.
Would be great if the stormwater management and erosion control plan could also capture efforts to minimize the area of land disturbance and tree removal for the proposed construction. Yes. But how?
But the plan, we can't tell them the plan, I mean, we
Yeah,
gave them the.
whose comment is that?
That
Ed
is,
Olson,
no,
Gabby,
Gabby's,
yes, I mean, I get it, but the problem is, a builder can come and says, I have a plan, I'm doing a project. We can't say, well, we don't want to. We can't make aesthetic choices or demands on what they want, well, even if not. I mean, I get the point, we want to incentivize it, and I deplore that what happens. But in the stormwater bylaw, make aesthetic or,
No, like,
and we're just with the permit.
yeah,
I think we addressed it when we spoke about low impact development.
Yeah.
That little paragraph that says we encourage. For people to use low impact development techniques whenever possible,
Okay,
but I don't think we should be. Asking them to show us, this is what I wanna do, but this is what I'm willing to do,
okay,
I don't really care.
Gabby's next comment about if it could require showing locations of existing trees, in other towns, Wayland and Dover and Brookline. They require 6-inch trees and Brookline's 8, oh my god.
Oh, no, if
Well,
it's
that's-
requirement, if they're gonna remove, if they're.
Yeah.
If they're gonna remove or,
What is considered a tree? What DBH
Oh,
counts as a tree? Is that what it's talking about?
yeah. For trees 6 inches or greater in diameter or 8 inches, show the locations of all existing trees and trees for proposed removal. So they're asking for any trees 6 or 8 inches in diameter to be noted on the plan.
Mhm.
And also identify those that are 6 or 8 inches looking to be removed.
right,
Why is
I
it
don't
6
think
or
it's-
8?
Well, because 6 inches is for one, for
Oh,
Wayland, Dover. is
Okay,
8,
she's
or
not
Brookline is
asking
8.
us to have a range.
No, Wayland and Dover have 6 inches, and Brookline requires it for an 8-inch tree.
Again, the tree committee is gonna be getting into that.
That's what I mean, I think we're,
Right.
this is.
I think it's one in the, I think they wanted the regulation plans when they submitted
Right.
for the permit to show all the trees that are 8 inches or greater.
well, here's a good point, there's like a 100-year-old oak tree on. Right near the property line, one parcel. But the parcel being built, they were gonna hack those roots and kill the tree. And they did a root treatment, hopefully to save it, but the point was, is like. we can kill that neighbor's tree if we want to, because we can do anything, but there's no way.
We
to
wouldn't
catch-
show it on
we
our
wouldn't show
plot
it.
plan, cause it's not on the their property.
Yeah, I mean, like. You can't.
It could be
you can-
shared, a shared tree.
You're right, a tree on, but this one was like 10 feet over, but it's 100-year-old tree, so the, the root ball is extending way in. Because it's a
Right.
100-year-old tree, which is magnificent.
I had my root zone affected. That my trees wouldn't have been shown on their property, on the new construction property.
Yeah,
I have two beautiful trees, their root zones were, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have those beautiful trees. But
yeah,
I
it
think of,
doesn't show on their property.
I think of the plans, we're gonna be asking them to not only shoot the property, but also, on the abutting. Like 5 feet over at least, like if there's a retaining wall or there's a tree or there's other obstructions that they need to.
Good.
I would think this is, we actually, this.
To
tree
me,
could
it's
be-
addressed in the tree, it'll be addressed
I
in the tree
know,
bylaw.
I
I understand it's
know.
at least a couple years away, but I don't know that we can have the stormwater bylaw address tree issues.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the
Yeah.
bylaw, I think it's in the plan submittal requirements that we can tweak that a little bit.
Alright.
I mean, maybe we can, in the
I
regulations, we
was
can
gonna
put it
say-
in there, we can suggest you
Yeah,
include trees.
right.
Of
If-
a larger size, meaning greater than 6 inches,
No, to
but
locate it for the plan, we have a requirement of a plan submittal, or we have a proposed requirement for plan submittal, and one of them could be. Utilities, driveway, where the house is located, where the trees are. Where the.
yeah, it's just gonna make it awful busy for you to look at it.
Yeah,
I've seen it done before, though.
Okay.
ours are pretty busy,
Alright, next.
Plans?
yeah,
Alright, next one,
I would like to get a better handle on how.
particularly,
Aim to decide on what.
the 1.5 inch, which we addressed with the select board.
Yeah,
But we can talk to Gabby
okay,
and give her an idea about what it is, so basically saying that, you know,
right,
we're comparable to surrounding towns, number one, and number two, it was the, I'll use this word, I forget the word it is, but the sweet spot for the phosphorus removal,
yeah,
so that was getting the most out of that, for the
Yeah.
phosphorus removal.
Yeah.
And 1.5 inches seemed to be doable.
and there was consensus amongst the inspector.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that we wouldn't change it or increase it further, but
Alright, tree plantings require, can we require them to survive for 2 growing seasons? Anything that, but I think that's an issue of warranty under the builder, right?
Yeah,
yeah, require that
whose is that, whose comment is that?
Gabby.
Gabby's. God bless her.
the tree
It sounds
planting,
like
yeah, if the
conservation.
tree planting, yeah, well, so if the tree planting, so we run it, we did that we ran into that, or had that discussion today. About the reservoir project and how that's the only outstanding piece of it at the moment, where that. Things need to be replaced because they didn't survive for 2 years, but the rest of the project is complete. So building's not gonna hold open a permit for 2 years. To wait to see if the plants survive,
Well, yeah,
so.
Right.
Again, this is, to me, any planting need to survive for 2 years or more to be counted, needs to be something in the tree bylaw, I don't think this is where the.
And with conservation jurisdiction, it's taken care of here too.
Yeah, but if they're not in conservation, then it wouldn't
No,
apply to
no,
something,
no.
but I don't know that
The tree planting,
stormwater.
and
A
that-
stormwater bylaw can require them to
No. they can't.
monitor it for 2 years.
No,
We
and
don't
also,
have a mechanism to do it.
this is really unusual, on private property, we're insisting that trees are planted. And the only way we can do this is a permit open. So once the permit's closed, it's over.
Yeah,
And once the homeowners move in, they buy it, they can cut them down if they want. I
they
mean,
could,
we can't compel them to keep them.
Right.
But usually people just keep what they've inherited. And it's like, it was there. So I think that's.
I
the
did
way.
contend with significant amount of trees when I moved, but only because it was encroaching on the pool.
Okay,
I
I
mean,
just
I
didn't want the
think,
roots to grow into the pool.
I mean, I think our main responsibility is that, we should that the plans for the infiltration units are. In order, I mean,
Right.
that's kind of our big responsibility.
Right.
Okay, so those who guys, now where's, oh, I don't have the version with, Josh's comments. It's somewhere. I must have opened up an old version.
Who's Jake Shapiro?
Yeah, those are Josh's, Josh had some
Yeah,
comments.
questions on the solution is the next one. We're skipping over her regulations question.
Oh, did I see, hold on, yeah.
My understanding is that the group prefers to keep more of the details for reporting requirements in the regulations, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They, in other communities do have more detailed tree protection and mitigation measures in their regulations. So it might be something to consider moving forward.
Amen.
Question on a solution was the one from a resident. Looks like the main solution addressing runoff is increasing the recharge requirement from 1 to 1.5. This makes some sense to me in theory, but does this work in the denser areas of NEDA? There is likely a relationship between impervious surfaces and lot sizes such that recharge collection should be higher if the impervious surface accounts for a larger percentage of the property to allow time for infiltration. Otherwise, in high rain events, you'll have dry wells filling quickly and then surcharging into the street and others' yards.
They were gonna do that anyways.
That's from a resident.
Right, yeah. So here's the thing, our stormwater I hate to go back to this because we need to be consistent in how we're considering stormwater. Our stormwater assessment fee is based on the impervious cover on your land, regardless of how big your plot is. You could have 16 acres or you could have a half an acre. If you have between X and X square feet of impervious cover, this is the amount you pay. I only say this because like in the case of 33 Pennsylvania, they have an enormous amount, some of it conservation land, an enormous amount of land over there. And he's like, why am I paying for my impervious? He's like, nothing runs off my property because I'm like 8 miles from the road and whatever, which is probably true. However, in order to make it equitable for everybody in town, it needs to be the same. It can't be dependent on, well,
Right.
your lot size is this, and now it's this, and let's do this math problem, and then let's figure this
Have
out.
this much wetlands.
And yeah, and then, and also, if we don't make it even and equitable for applicable to everybody.
Right.
It just leads to more confusion and calculations throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
So I feel strongly that I understand the inclination to go by percentage of impervious cover by lot. However, in keeping with this consistency, a consistent nature of the stormwater assessment, we are going with total impervious cover on a lot. Because who's to say next year you don't decide to sell off half your lot, now your lot's smaller.
Yeah.
And that means whatever you had is now not
Yeah,
doing the same thing, you know what I mean?
right, so,
Because lot sizes change or have the ability to change throughout the life of a property.
Yeah.
You feel it's more consistent.
parcels,
better.
parcels can combine, yeah,
We
okay,
we feel it's better to go by the total impervious cover, not the percentage of impervious cover.
right.
Yeah.
And that, dry wells filling up, so yeah, they will,
They will, yeah,
absolutely.
we have too many rainstorms that are over 1.5 inches.
But that's, we're doing what we're doing, and that's all we can do.
Yes.
Okay, how does the new 1.5 requirement compare with that municipalities? We talked about that.
Right, I did ask Beta today if they can provide me a list perhaps of neighboring communities.
Oh, nice.
And what their infiltration
Okay.
number is.
Have we already
specifically.
determined that we're on the lower end of that?
So Natick's
We're
1
pretty-
inch, Brookline is 5.5 inches. Newton is 2 inches,
Who's doing it?
Newton,
What's Wellesley?
I think it's 1 inch in Wellesley, but 2
Yeah.
inches for large house, if you go for a large house review.
so they only require for a large house review, though, so it's like,
Yeah.
they don't trigger all.
Well, yeah,
Well, I'm
That was a
assuming
little
they, if
difficult
it's
for
5
some-
inches in Brookline and 1.5 in
Five,
Needham.
yeah, 5.5.
Because, I mean, Needham has more land
Yeah.
area for natural infiltration, whereas Brookline doesn't have the, so it
And
needs
small
more
parcels.
man-made
okay,
infiltration.
so the next question,
Yeah,
How much it costs?
yeah, how much do we expect this to increase the price of projects? again, like I said to the select board, I can't give you a number, because I have no way of knowing. I have no control over supply chain, I have no control over how much is this gonna increase the price of projects? We
John,
have no way to determine that.
I had a couple comments. Just,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get switched quick enough. Back on the previous one, the 1.5 inches.
yeah,
I think that's a real key question because it came
Yeah.
up at the select board meeting. It's in the comments Josh got, it's here again. And I think we're on pretty solid ground with what we've done because Beta gave us a table way at the beginning of the project that showed the whole range of communities. And the thing that really struck me is you got to be careful to not just use the number alone because everybody's got qualifications, different,
Yeah.
ways to get out of it. So when Tom or Kim, when you explain that, I would reiterate that point that but I think at the end of the day, we've found some middle ground that we believe is a good place to be.
How would we
On the-
exactly explain that?
Yeah.
To some, if someone did, again, ask the question, how would we exactly explain it, or Tom, or again?
How we get to the 1.5?
Yes.
I think,
why
I think
one
we
and a-
did for the
why one-
stormwater.
why
Number
one
one,
and
we
three?
have to increase it. It should be increased for
Right.
purposes of phosphorus capture.
Yeah, I mean,
1.5
I know,
inches.
I know.
1.5 inches is the sweet spot where you get the most of your infiltration out of. Anything more than that, you're kind of superfluous.
Yeah.
Superfluous.
superfluous, yeah.
Kim, another
Yeah.
point I would add on that is that we should be sure to explain that going up by 1/2 inch from 1 to 1.5 is significant. It maybe seems small, but on a volume basis, it's hundreds of gallons of additional water that's going to be captured. So I think
Exactly,
we
exactly.
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
reinforce that volume.
Yeah, so the 1/2
Water.
inch so when you say 1 or 1.5 inches, and just like John said, a 1/2 inch is not. It doesn't seem as impactful as it actually is, and when it's multiplied by
Right.
300 properties a year that have some sort of activity on it, it adds up quick.
Well, actually, do we have math on like a standard like Cape house? How
How
many?
many minivans can we fit in it?
Sienna or honestly,
Yeah.
right, but sort of like how many gallons is that?
Kevin, I did a calculation as a good
Oh, what you got?
engineer. Tom probably did the same thing. If you had
Yeah.
1,000 square feet of impervious area, adding another 1/2 inch, it's about, 300 to 400 gallons of additional water that's captured.
How many additional?
300 to 400.
300 or
gallons.
400. Which is a lot of water.
Yeah, that's a lot of fish tanks.
Hmm,
A lot of
Okay.
Volkswagens.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think people would want to hear like,
Do you want me to bring in 300 gallons of water?
how many kiddie pools is that?
Hmm.
Oh, just off one?
we
Depends
can
on how
catch
big
some
the
fish in the reservoir.
We need Joe here.
Right.
I know.
Okay. No, but I mean, it's a good point, and I think when we ask this and people want to know. Because I think,
Yeah, I
it's like,
know.
while we're doing it, let's go to 2 inches.
John, when we're at are you gonna be at the public one next week?
Yes.
All right,
All right, I will point to you as soon as
Yeah.
somebody brings that question up, I'm gonna say, and John here
Yeah,
will explain to you how many gallons of water a 1/2 inch.
yeah.
Do
What we
Yeah.
have,
In layman terms, yeah.
Yeah.
I
like
need to
fish tank.
flash my PE badge.
yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah, bring something official, make it shiny and gold, wear it on your hip.
nice.
Uh,
Or just whip it out.
all right, so costs we also don't know about.
But can I jump in here
Oh,
also?
yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Tim's
Go,
getting
John.
sassy over here.
Go, John.
I think Tripp needs to help us out here.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, good idea.
nobody knows a number, but I think he would know, are we talking about 5 or 10% or 20%, or what's the ballpark of what we're talking about with this regulation? And my hunch is, it's not a lot of additional cost. He always makes the point, just tell me clearly what the regulation is. And
Right, right.
we'll do what we need to do, but Tom, can you check in with him and see if he can give you some guidance on that?
Yes.
Well, the
I-
thing is too, the question, I don't mean to interrupt, but the question also goes on to say, for example, a soil sample test could be cheap if you're doing a new construction project, but we don't differentiate between what type of project needs it and what doesn't. So what if you don't need a professional engineer to make some basic property upgrades?
So that's the point I was getting at. It's
Yeah.
like there's gonna be conditions where, yeah, it doesn't require, an over design. And we're gonna acknowledge that in some of the requirements.
Yeah,
I think Tripp said you did a little research on the 2 inches. Remember when we were going towards the 2 inches? Did he talk to you? You probably worked together with,
Yeah, so Newton requires the 2 inches.
yeah,
So,
but then remember when we were saying 2 inches and then I
Yeah.
think he went back probably with you
yeah,
to do a little research on what it would be like, 2 inches.
oh yeah, we're gonna put together some plot plans or something.
Yeah, and then it looked like the 1.5 inch would be plenty, that 2 inches would be over and above. Fitting the infiltration units in it.
yeah, that's hundreds more gallons, Eric.
So for John's example. That will probably require one more Caltech 330 chamber, which is roughly $350 a piece. I'll have to double check now. So that's another $350 just for the materials. To add. So if you have 1,000 square feet of impervious area,
And extra trees.
it would be one more chamber
Right.
for 1,000. Actually, not quite a chamber, but we'll call it one chamber.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
materials are 350 plus, yeah, right, so you might remove a tree, you might have to, the excavator equipment has to be up there a little longer.
Yeah, but, right, if they're digging one hole and then there, is it like,
They're already mobilized,
right,
right? So a lot of the cost is in the mobilization and also the keeping the crew busy for a week.
Right.
So adding an extra chamber is not gonna
Right.
cause that cost to go up. It's gonna be,
Negligible.
well, we're also,
Validated.
we're now in need of, we're reaching the $3 million homes.
The only. I'm conscious of the time, but the only, kick I see on that is that is, if you're only gonna add one more chamber for that amount of extra infiltration for that 1/2 inch, that's fine. However, we are also now requiring, they're not just counting the roof, they're doing, so they might need more than one set of chambers.
Right.
So if they need 4 chambers, that means they're adding 4. Granted, you're already spending the money on 4, so it depends on the size of your property, the size of your impervious or whatever. So they might ask the question, well, that's fine, but now you're also requiring more chambers, so doesn't that cover the 1/2 inch? But it doesn't.
But also to Mr. Shapiro's point, the small project, the resident to make one basic property upgrade. I think. This doesn't kick in because it'd be so small. If they're doing a 50% rate of change,
Mhm.
and that.
Right,
that's
if you're
not-
adding
so
if you're adding a cove over your
Right.
doorstep, this isn't gonna.
Yeah.
Kick that off.
So I think nothing's been triggered on the small, and a lot of small jobs aren't gonna trigger anything.
So, but there are some triggers, like,
Call
so
it.
if they add like a tennis court or some more impervious area.
Right.
If they add a tennis court, they're gonna be designing things, but if they're adding an extra length of driveway. We may say to them, like, you need to do something so your neighbor doesn't get flooded, cause now you're adding.
Yeah.
So, does it need, they have asphalt, they have, Walton out there paving,
Right.
well, have them add. Something,
And that would be caught by the street front.
yeah, that'll be caught by a street front, so that might be small enough that hey, as long as they do this,
Right,
I
and it
think
might be a
they'll-
lip, right?
might be a berm or with a garden or something.
Might be a pet.
All right, so I think we got that.
The last question he had, on like, the
Right.
last comment was he'd like to see more in the article, or more in the article, or maybe just a re-education of existing processes for homeowners to seek remedy of suspected non-compliance with the stormwater bylaw, new or previous or state law. Now, I'm gonna be honest, previous is gonna be pretty dang hard. It's already there, it's existing, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Unless you can empirically prove that that whatever that is happening there is the cause of whatever you're
Yeah,
seeing. And how you do that, let me know.
I wanna say that when we received the bylaw in 2019, there really was, interpretation issues.
Right.
And everyone was struggling with it. And I think it took, actually a few years to figure out, oh, that's what it means, you know, I was like, I've read it like 50 times, 100 times. And trying to figure it out, so. I think education is gonna be important, and I think somebody mentioned, I think select board meeting about doing a coffee house or something like that, was it, or did I mishear that? Like, go and, you know, have a little coffee break with, some of the builders or residents. And.
I think Katie said it, yeah.
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, I think.
When,
At the
Tuesday night?
meeting, at the select board meeting, yeah,
No,
Like a
when
coffee
right
shop.
when we're doing the presentation,
Right.
like potentially we would need to have like. A copy with a DPW worker type thing, so they can ask their questions and educate them and make them think about stormwater type.
yeah,
Not the bylaws, but you know.
you can do both, right,
Yeah.
but at least
coffee and
how we're
conversation.
interpreting it.
Coffee
and
discussion.
Expectation, right, so.
Yeah, how to seek a remedy. The remedy is, what's already there is there. If you are seeing construction that concerns you, it's the same process if you would see construction that concerns you now.
Right, it's
You
a
would call-
permit issue.
Yeah,
Is it a permit issue or is it not a permit issue?
yeah,
We only deal with permit issues. It's
Correct.
about the permit,
right. If you don't like the fact
So-
that there's an 8-story house next to you,
I get it.
So we were called out a year ago on the neighbor upgradients added to their roof leaders. You know, a direct discharge to the neighbor's property.
Ooh,
Like,
Yeah,
wow.
And so we were called out there, so we were trying to talk to him, it's like, saying, I have a flooding problem. I was like, yeah, but you're discharging to your neighbor, it's like, well, you know, it's not my problem anymore, pretty much. He was saying, it's like, well, telling the other neighbors, like, you know, we really can't do anything, it's a civil matter.
yeah,
Between the two.
Yeah, so is this gonna trigger a, hey, you just added a pipe? Point source discharge, you need to do something, and that will, I think that may become part of the regulations.
yeah, I mean, we could say something, if a point source discharge is
But
occurring.
I think we already
It
kind
could
of
be,
did in the
you say,
bylaw.
I would just say that anything that in the regulations, I'd like to put in there somewhere. Something to the effect of, if any property has been built, is currently standing at. That meets. Whatever laws and or regulations were approved at the time of construction.
Hmm.
So long as they are compliant with that. This is not a town matter, so long, as long as they are compliant with our bylaws and regulations. If there is an issue with your neighbor. Causing harm to you in any way, it's a civil matter, obviously not saying it in that way, but saying it more
Right,
appropriately.
right, so but for construction of a house, that's set to the permits, whereas. Someone deciding afterwards, like they need to put a sump pump and then kick it on towards their neighbor.
Right.
It's not permitted, we're not gonna catch it until we actually go out and see
Right,
it.
and if they send in a C-click fix, we'll go out, we'll check it out, we'll see if what they're saying is correct, we'll talk to them, educate them. About what they are or are not causing on their neighbors.
Mhm.
And then if we aren't able to amicably resolve it.
Hmm.
It's a civil matter at that point, like there's nothing really we can do.
right. Right, and the point of the bylaw isn't to, in some respects, checking up on your neighbors to see the violating.
Right,
This is about permits and managing a permit. And what access we have, okay.
You know, the second to last paragraph under design criteria could probably cover that. A point discharge, maybe that's introduced generally. But there's we no change to the existing conditions of abutting properties, public ways. Permitting increase in volume or peak rate, stormwater runoff.
What section you're in?
It's design criteria 71047,
Yeah,
the second to last paragraph. It could be generally covering that, but it could be,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's also in applicability, I believe. So I think it's in a few points.
I like what we've done.
I do too.
What have
Please
we
tell
done?
me in 3 weeks, we're gonna get regulations all drafted and edited.
I love that too.
We gotta hit that.
Changes
pretty
in
fast.
grading and existing are. That's a or existing water flow result in additional surface water. So surface water bill.
Oh, yeah. Construction or alteration of drainage systems.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Where is that? I'm sorry, drainage.
Construction or alteration of drainage systems right there. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. So we
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least it gives us the ability for the regulations to say this is what an alteration is. Pipes discharging with it 10 feet of a property line.
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
With the intent
Yeah.
to divert onto the neighbor. Okay,
I would say to
Anything-
divert, not that they need to divert. They just intended to divert it, maybe not realizing where that was.
Make-
It
still the rule then?
no, it just, it evaporates as it comes out of the pump.
Thanks.
So that covers all the comments?
Yes.
Just
So
something
that's
to
fine.
change and version, but yeah, okay. Okay, anything else? I think, I thought we were done. That was very thorough. And the comments were good.
Oh, and he also pointed out that define significant changes. Come on,
Who?
Yeah.
the resident,
Where are we going? Wait,
Or, what was he referring to? Significant change.
Define adverse impact.
if wherever we, like, basically when we said the plan, like, if a
Oh,
plan
plan.
has any significant changes, we may require. Because it's gonna depend on what what the building department determines is significant or not, or if they just think that's a little.
I think we're saying it's not technical. Like, technical changes and do this here, that's,
He also has to define adverse impacts to abutting properties. Damage,
Mhm.
sustained damage to your property,
Well,
I guess, I
It
don't
would
know,
be more water flow
yeah,
or more volume and rate of runoff.
But
And
well-
or rate of runoff
right, and sometimes
What
if
about
you specify
erosion?
what it is, then you.
or
right,
yeah, erosion, yeah,
Right.
right.
could be
how can public review stormwater records for a property?
The public rules, laws anyway support every request.
your request,
PPC can,
And you can search it on DPC, if you want, if you know the actual. Property name and property number, address, you can do it, yeah,
yeah, how much
um,
access does the general public have to that?
to the building department, they have a lot of access, there aren't many, the
Remind
periodic.
me to ask you the question I have for you before we go.
Okay, the periodic inspection permit is the only one that is not searchable public information. I believe I have set all the other ones too.
By the way, alright, so DPW director has the authority for emergency suspension of storm drain system access.
Yeah.
Alright, how does the public report such emergencies to the town to trigger this response? They
Well-
talk to the director of DPW.
Yeah,
You
They
got-
put in a secret fix.
Yeah, talks, there's a bomb, someone's putting shit in the drain tank. Okay, that's how, there's no,
we've got these
Police
before.
Yeah.
that-
And or DPW, depending on
Yeah.
the severity of your.
Right.
Issue.
It looks like a sheen of oil on a discharge area
Yeah.
and we've gone out.
If
and
you
taken
think
a look
somebody
at
is
it.
dumping
Yeah.
sarin gas in the system, then maybe you should call the police department. But if they're dumping, I don't know, cleaning chemicals, maybe that's not so bad.
Can I just ask one more question? And, maybe it's more directed to
Well,
Kevin.
John's got a pair too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
No,
It's next.
Oh, sorry, okay,
Okay.
he's been patient, and
He has been so patient.
John,
Yes, I'm still awake.
you
I
too?
want- I wanted to quickly go back to something that was discussed right at the beginning. And that was the
Okay.
importance of really framing all of this as the town being proactive in both dealing with an issue that's really happening nationally, that many communities are upgrading these kind of ordinances. And we're kind of in line with doing the same type of thing. So I mean, this is not us alone out on an island doing something that with what's happening with the intensity of storms, et cetera. And I thought Kevin made a good suggestion when I brought that up, that why not show on the introductory slide, some storm situation. And I know Gabby's got a bunch of these slides because she put them together for me for a presentation she did. And it could be on the introductory slide, and it almost sort of allows Kim or Tom, whoever starts, to say, as you can see in this slide, flooding and stormwater issues are important, not only here, but everywhere. So this is what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I would like to try and figure out how we can balance it with, the NIPD's portion of it, the stormwater quality. Because I'm afraid if we highlight it too much, they're looking at this as just a solution for flooding only. And really, that's not the primary focus or primary function of the stormwater bylaw.
Yeah, and
It is a secondary one, but it's an important one.
I totally agree
But
with you, and I think you can explain that and just say the flooding is one issue, and there also is the continued more stringent issues on quality issues. So here we are upgrading the ordinance for all these reasons.
Right,
I'm sure you can finesse that, Kim.
all right,
Yeah.
yeah, now, at
Confident.
the hearing,
Well, we could maybe take a picture of the, my chart that I have for the, rain, totals and the precipitation totals in Needham. I have them for the last 10 years.
Oh, no, you don't.
that'd be great,
Mhm.
that'd be great.
Huh?
That'd be good.
They're interesting, that's for sure.
All right, I think for the hearing, I will introduce, roll call. Maybe frame it quickly and then hand it off to you to do the presentation. Does that
That's
sound
not
right?
included in this. He's the one on the group.
Yeah.
So this is in Powers Hall.
I was,
Howard's Hall, yeah.
So where do we accessory people belong?
you are
Right there.
accessory. You will be at the front
You'll be at the
table.
front table.
Will.
You
Yes,
will.
part of my.
Front and center. Curly your lashes.
And then as people talk, I think we can also, if people have questions,
So we're gonna be sitting together as like
Yeah.
a panel.
as a panel.
Okay.
People, now, if there's hundreds of people, it'll be like, get to the mic and now, give us your comment. This is a press conference, we're just taking notes, like we're going fast and furious because we want to get all the comments.
Hmm.
I don't think it'd be that crowd, I think there might be 20 to 30 people.
we do have people on Zoom too.
And people on Zoom, yeah, and so if people want to have a bit more back and forth. I'm fine with that, as you know, because we'll also just let it, we're trying to sell it too.
Right.
So that's fine, but depends on the side of, how unwieldy the group is, and if it's small, we can. Be a
So
bit
is
more-
there a time that this ends or is it?
Yeah, we
fluid?
want to. Generally, it's a hearing, you let everyone who wants to talk. So it can go on.
And this is considered a hearing?
Is a legal hearing.
The public
Public
session
hearing,
is
yeah.
considered. a
Public listening
If
session.
we call it a listening session, we want to hear, we could be anything, but it is a hearing.
hearing. Okay,
And so, it crosses a big box, checks a big box for us. And I think we'll probably have another one. Or something with the select board. Close to ties we're coming, after the warrant's out.
so we need to post this agenda.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, can we post this agenda? August
This
5th.
agenda, the August fifth,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess we're meeting.
do I have an agenda? It's just the presentation.
Hearing,
That's
yeah,
good.
hearing
Good
for stormwater. working
Sure.
group.
Um,
You had a question?
I did, but just general question, last week, how do you think the select board, how do you think they actually feel about the recommendations to the revised bylaw? I guess I'm just trying to get a. I had kind of mixed feelings, I just,
What do you mix, yeah. What are your thoughts? I was surprised when Aaron's come, she's like, I'm not sure we need this, I'm like, what?
yeah, Mary Cooley,
Yeah, it's like, no, this is really needed.
Yeah. I don't think.
yeah, why would this matter then? Okay.
I was surprised with that, she's not usually like that, is she, or is she?
She's sharp as a tack,
I know, yeah,
that she's really smart, so,
I don't know, so I was just curious.
I figured it was a sell it to us, so I was like, yeah, here we go, let's smack this out of the
Yeah,
ballpark,
yeah,
so I hope, I think.
So
But-
she was, okay, she was like that in the beginning,
Yeah,
okay.
She was saying actually, what would a resident say to this? I mean, I think she was looking on
Yeah.
the perspective.
Why does this
of a
matter to
resident.
me? Yeah.
Right, right. So that's what I think she was trying to pull out from this.
yeah.
And I think that's what we're gonna potentially address with the picture of the flooding in town.
Right,
And I pulled up the precipitation for the town.
yeah, right,
The last 10 or 11 years or so.
Hmm.
So on average, I mean, we have a lot of rain, but over the last 4 or 5 years or whatever, it's increasingly more, so.
11.5
where, oh,
January 2024.
What was
Can
August
you
of
zoom out a little bit?
yeah.
Yeah.
23?
Geez, between December
Holy cats, right,
and January, we got 20, almost 22 inches of rain.
But it's not the totals that really matter, it's the intensity, that's the big issue.
right,
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, August of 23, it was, I mean, technically it was only 8 inches total, but that was essentially that one storm.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't any other storms, that was the only storm, so,
Isn't
But,
that-
hey,
but the month before, we had 12, almost 13 inches of rain.
yeah, everything was sodded,
Isn't
everything
that
was
something?
fully saturated by
Mm.
August.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Total for the year.
You know, it's also crazy, like
This is
in
the total
January,
for the year, yeah.
you get a lot of rain, but like nothing's absorbing it, it's just running off. Yeah,
Mm.
it's filling up the aquifer, but that's.
Yeah.
so the average rainfall in the year, based on the years that I have up here, is about 52 inches. Of rain. Now, last year we were above that in 2024, we were above that in 2023.
Yeah,
A little under that in 2022, but that was the year of the drought.
is that precipitation included snow too?
Yes,
wow,
snow was included in all our numbers. The year before that, so 2021, we were above, we were at 60. A little bit under, or more on target in 2020 pandemic, but you know, other than that.
Where are you getting these numbers from Steve?
Yep, these are all the monthly precipitation reports I get every month.
wow,
Steve Cusick.
that's cool.
How does Steve go?
He's got a
He
rain
gets
gauge.
Yeah, he gets a
Oh,
rain gauge, he has to report it to,
really?
yeah,
Gotcha.
he has to report it to.
That's so nuts.
Is that outside my door?
Is that what?
Is that where you have your sprinkler going all the time?
It was,
It's at the Charles River treatment plant.
oh, all right, I thought I've seen one maybe out.
He might have a
Out
few,
here,
he might have a few out. He might
Yeah,
have more than one, maybe.
But overall, I think select board, the biggest issue is, can we land this for town meeting? It's just, this is
In time. you mean.
in time, yeah, we want
Right,
this,
right.
and I also think
I felt that too.
the hearing is gonna be, if the tone at the hearing is like, yeah, okay, or good, if a few people's like, okay, I think we got a green light. But, you know, so we'll see.
Do we have some kind of exit poll from the meeting or something?
Well, the comments, yeah, right, would be,
Yeah, I know, but maybe some people aren't up for talking,
right,
that they may
They
actually,
can send an anonymous. You know, question or comment or something.
yeah, or just something so that we can actually.
Maybe asking Amy if she'd help us out with like a postcard response thing or
Yeah,
whatever poll thing she used. Putting a
Yeah.
poll out saying, hey, what do you think about the new
Yeah.
stormwater, the changes to the stormwater bylaw to everybody in town. The question is if you actually get those people who don't have internet or don't use a computer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, unless some unforeseen issue. But definitely I could see this, get in front of town meeting, people reading about this, understanding it, this is a
If
good,
we can get the regulations done
yeah,
by the end of August. So
Right.
that in September, I can post it on that page
And no,
right,
and have people review it. We can do, Amy send out a thing saying, please review this. These are the regulations that go with the stormwater bylaw
right,
recommendations. So they have a full month before the October
Right.
vote. And then we're also presenting potentially that to the select board.
Yeah.
Before the vote. I feel like we could make it happen. However, that's gonna largely depend on select board saying, okay, it's okay if we don't know, if we know the regulations or not. Cause one of the big comments from Heidi was that, I don't think we're giving people enough time to read and digest it. That's great, but I don't want them to digest it for 6.5 months and find stuff. I want them to, what's your first?
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I don't want you to nitpick it to death. I just like to know that.
and we got no comments from zoning or no comments from, who else was this?
I didn't get any comments from any other department person or being other than conservation, Gabby, Ed,
Yeah.
and the resident.
Hmm.
And John.
Right, right.
Kim,
And I-
Kim, have you,
Yeah.
question for Kim, have
Yeah.
you invited the Needham Observer?
I did not. I don't know if that was on my list of things to do. I don't recall that being.
Invite them to the hearing?
I mean, if they latch onto an issue, they have a pretty big, exposure in terms of it's commenting on it, pro or con. I mean, they tend to be pretty objective in my mind with what I see them do, but
Well, you gotta be cornering them at the beginning of it, being like, all right, we need you to say this is good.
Yeah.
I'll
well,
talk to Peter, I will talk to him.
Review team, those jerks.
Well,
I'm sorry, was that something I was supposed to do? I don't recall.
I'll
Just take it, right?
Okay, I just don't recall that. being
It
something.
has been done. He'll do it, it's done, he did it.
All right,
Thank you, John, for your questions.
Yes,
And
thank
we-
you for
I
attending while
think-
you're away. I
I
appreciate
think
it.
we, pretty much, I was looking at them again, I think we pretty much. Have
We've covered every single one. We
Yeah.
did not get to the regulations today, which is disappointing. However,
okay, we'll start in regulation, then we meet next when?
we
So-
meet a week from next.
So I guess we're live,
13th or something.
like
Yeah.
curl your lashes.
Yeah, August 13th.
I'm gonna
where
have
you
a
get
little
run
makeup.
down.
Wait,
Come
August,
in.
August 13th, August 5th,
August 5th is our public hearing.
Yeah.
Or public meeting. However, August 13th is our next regular meeting.
yes.
So we only have the
Oh, that's a
13th,
Wednesday, that's
the
good.
20th and
I
26th
think
or
this
something.
take off some time in August.
Do,
Okay.
you can do it,
I know.
you can do
We're
it.
just in summer school.
No, I have to, I can't through any more vacation time.
Thank you, well, we got you.
Go ahead.
Go, go.
Really?
Yes, work-life
Really?
balance is important,
Really,
yeah,
really.
Okay.
all right.
We'll drag Tim
So
in
Thanks, guys.
and beat him.
I just wanna say that, I haven't
You
gone through the
deserve it.
Needham draft regulations in a while, but I kinda like the setup of the Weston and the Natick ones. If I can,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then remove what we don't like and let the formatting seem pretty good.
Okay.
Cool, all right, thank you.
Okay,
I
Way
would,
to
I would
prepare
remove
time.
the permit categories.
How
Except
many?
for,
How many pages are they?
Hundreds.
it's not that bad.
Double sided or single sided?
Double,
Double sided.
Yeah.
40 a bit.
so.
Okay.
so what is it you need me to do with those? You need me to?
No,
combine
I do-
like I did with the bylaws?
No, I say, I'm gonna go through it and probably X out stuff and change a few things around and.
Is that a homework assignment? Are we supposed to look?
No,
at those?
I know, I'm just saying, that's my take on it, I was gonna,
And does everybody know that we have the sample one too, based on the, um,
I haven't looked in a while either.
based on the, um. I can't even think of the name, beta
Okay.
attempt,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, the general one, we had that as well. Under plans and procedures,
Is that reference document, right?
yep, reference documents, plans and procedures. There is the beta template stormwater regulations.
Hmm.
Which supposedly is a compilation of,
Right, January 4.
yeah, which is a compilation of a lot of towns together, so that might be a good,
This is going like deja vu all over again.
I know, it can't take us a year, guys,
No, we're gonna get this done.
can't take us a year, and I don't like,
You miss these gatherings now.
Do it all.
don't face it, you'll miss me.
When was the last time you took a vacation, Deb?
I took off a couple days at Christmas.
Ooh, wow.
See,
But
Fred's been gone.
that's it
David's
since
been doing it all himself.
last July. So I
Oof.
did, yeah, so I can't accrue any more vacation time, cause.
Yeah.
At my max.
Work-life balance, work-life balance.
I just haven't, I mean, I haven't had anybody to lean on.
Yeah, for you,
Speaking of
babe.
leaving or leaving. Anyone know?
Is that a Freudian slip
Speaking
or
of
something?
leaving,
Is that what you're saying?
Speaking of leaving, it is fun.
Huh?
No. You don't get off that easy. Does anyone wish to make a motion? To adjourn?
I second the motion.
Who motioned to adjourn?
I'll motion. I moved.
Sue motions
So moved.
again,
So moved.
I second that.
Deb seconds the motion.
All right, let's have a roll call. John Salo,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Tom Ryder,
Yes.
Deb Anderson.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I slept after you.
We'll see everybody next week,
Next week.
Tuesday, August 5th, be there, be square.
What did we wear?
And we're also gonna
Yeah.
celebrate Kim's birthday
Right,
NTM.
that night.
No, we don't
Too,
celebrate
because her
her.
birthday's on the 6th.
That's
No,
right,
celebration.
it is, but it's my dad, that was my dad's birthday, so I remember.
All right,
Yeah,
wear your Sunday best, okay, John?
will do, and I will come with my.